Wake that ass up.
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. Let's get in some front page news. Good morning, Tez.
Good morning, DJ NV, Charlamagne the God, and Breakfast Club family.
Peace, Tez.
Now let's discuss. Let's jump right into it. If you strike, you will be fired. What are we talking about now?
Well, I hope that's not the case, but that is what Senator Tim Scott is certainly suggesting. Republican presidential candidate Senator Tim Scott delivered an apparent call to fire the United Auto Workers who are currently on strike over the dispute with auto manufacturers. Monday, the South Carolina senator held a town hall in Fort Dodge, Iowa, where he was asked if he was president, would he involve himself in the current labor talks? Let's listen to what he said.
I think Ronald Reagan gave us a great example when federal employees decided they were going to strike. Either you strike, you're fired. Simple concept to me. To the extent that we could use that once again, absolutely.
That sounds ridiculous.
Is that legal?
What, to fire somebody? He's going by what Ronald Reagan suggested. So you can suggest something and not necessarily say, that it would happen or not. But Ronald Reagan, when he was president, he fired more than 11,000 members, not him particularly, but what happened when he called for that firing, more than 11,000 members of the Professional Air Traffic Controllers Association in 1981. They were fired for protesting improved wages and shorter hours. So yeah, when people go on strike, you can absolutely replace their positions. Now, he also made a statement previous to this saying that we're seeing the United Auto Workers fight for more benefits and less working hours. We need to have more pay and fewer days they want more pay and fewer days on the job. He said it's a disconnect from work and we have to find a way to encourage people to want to get back to work. So that's Tim Scott's answer to that.
Well, you encourage them by doing right by them. And I just think,
Right.
I think Ronald Reagan and, my South Carolina brethren, Tim Scott sound ridiculous. Like, that's foolishness. Like, we all need gainful employment. We understand folks is out of work, but would you really want to work for a company that would fire you for striking, fire you for demanding more
crazy.
And wanting more, especially if you deserve more? Whether you agree with them striking, you should agree with their right to strike.
But I also thought that was the whole purpose of a union, that, the union would get together and make sure that you are safe if you have to strike, if you have to ask for more. So even in a union, that if you strike, you could be fired?
Well, yeah. I mean, again, you're taking a risk
crazy.
when you go to strike. That's why a lot of people don't want to go to strike. One, you get reduced pay, like we talked about the other day. Some of the workers are only getting $500 a week, and you can't risk losing your job. And remember, we talked about that the other day, especially now that we see AI is coming into place. You can actually be replaced. But I just want to remind the good senator on what was happening with Black people in 1981. Black Americans, their unemployment rate was about 14% during that time. There's always this confusion on the Reagan years and how the Reagan years was such a good time, but wasn't a good time for Black people. And you are right when it comes to the union, how it benefits everybody, but particularly Black people, because that collective bargaining power is helpful. It helps reduce wage gaps, particularly when you see wage gaps with people of color, particularly Black people. Job security, to your point, DJ NB, access to training, development, advocacy for civil rights and political advocacy, and so much more with why unions are important. And it supports affirmative action, a lot of the things that Tim Scott is obviously against. I'm really disappointed with him with this.
He sounds like he's never been a worker,
right?
Because you get people back to work by doing right by the workers. All folks want is fairness. The company wants to do what's fair for them. Workers want what's fair for them. Let's meet in the middle. That's all this is.
Well, not only that, when you're happier at work, you're going to be more productive, right?
That's right.
Because you're happy to be there. You want to be there. You want to work. But if you're not happy, you feel like you're taken advantage of, you're not going to want to work.
That's absolutely true.
And I think that's really going to backfire before we wrap up. I was a worker, a blue collar type state, so I don't think that's going to land too well with the voters that he was trying to impress. With saying, hey, you want more on your job, just lose your job.
You literally just told majority of Americans, I'll fire you if you want more. You should be fired if you want more. You should be fired if you demand more from your place of employment.
Crazy.
Right.
All right. Well, that is front page news. Tez, we'll see you in a couple of minutes.
Absolutely.
Everybody else, get it off your chest. 800-585-1051. If you need to vent, phone lines are wide open again. 800-585-1051. Call us up now. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.
Wake that ass up.
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Charlamagne the Guy. We are The Breakfast Club. Let's get in some front page news. Teslin, good morning.
Good morning again, DJ Envy, Charlamagne the God, Breakfast Club family.
Peace, Taz.
Let's jump right into it. Let's talk about these poll workers in Mississippi.
I really got to get my mind out the gutter because when I hear poll workers, I think strippers.
Come on, man.
And I know
That's not the gutter.
I know
Yeah,
that's
shout
not
out
what we're
to
talking about.
No.
Well, shout out to all the strippers.
That's right.
Poll workers in Mississippi said that they haven't been paid for more than a month after the state primary elections.
Damn, people ain't tipping?
Yo, shut up, man. What's wrong with him? Go ahead.
All right. In public comments at the Hyde County Board of Supervisors on Monday, poll manager Sheila Davis and election workers were very upset, saying that they were not paid during the August 8th and August 28th runoff elections. The workers said they refused to come back for November 7th if they are not paid. Let's listen to what she said.
If you didn't get your pay, how would you feel? So that's why I'm here today as a community person, as a poll manager. I want to be able to work with integrity November the 7th. But if the people don't get paid, you would not have. You would probably have to go to the poll and work. They want to be poll workers now. They don't want to sit there and work 14 hours and wait. It's been 36 days now.
If you work, you should get paid. That's the bottom line. But school me, Taz, who is supposed to pay them?
Yeah, so for clarity, it was about 1,000 poll workers that have not been compensated. So we're not talking about just a few folks. The election commissioner said that the reason they have not paid these folks is because the Democrat and Republican Party officials basically haven't given them the money, and it's resulted in delays. Now, looking ahead, they said that they're going to use some churches for some poll sites, and the church said, "No, we ain't gonna be able to do it. You had to pay us up front." So I thought that was funny. The church is basically saying, "Try Jesus, not them." So even the church don't trust. Trust the Democrats and Republicans. So yeah.
So how do we make sure they get their money? They just got to keep raising awareness?
Just got to keep raising awareness, and which they're doing that by going to, local meetings, keep telling people politics is local, make your voice heard, not just in the comments, but actually show up, at meetings, which is what they did. And I'm sure, there'll be some resolution to it now because they're going to need poll workers, in November 7th. You're going to have somebody's going to have to work the poll.
I agree. Poll workers, man, especially when they're doing like private dances, if it's not in the club, they
That's
should get their money. They should get their money up front.
I knew you was going to go there.
They should get their money up front because you can't guarantee that the people at the private party going to tip.
Oh, my goodness.
Well, that's why, again, if we're going to transition to that, that's why, a lot of times you do get guarantees in some of the strip clubs. They give you a little bit of some are private parties.
That's
Get a guarantee when you walk through the door and the rest is tips. You know all about it.
Oh, my
Shout out
goodness.
to the strip clubs.
Can we move on to some real news? Let's talk Elon Musk. He's trying to charge people a monthly fee. I'm happy for this.
Me too.
You are?
Yeah.
You happy for this?
Yes.
Well, let her tell the story first. Yes, but I agree with you.
Yeah. Oh, really? Okay. Well, when we talked about Twitter charging folks before, I thought I recalled you guys saying that was kind of crazy, but we'll talk about it in a second. But he is once again debating bringing back another change to X, which is formerly known as Twitter. Now, this is about reducing the trolls, which I'm sure is what you guys are talking about. But let's take a listen to what he had to say.
I'd say that maybe the single most important reason that we're moving to having a small monthly payment for use of the X system is it's the only way I can think of to combat vast armies of bots, because a bot costs a fraction of a penny, call it a tenth of a penny, but if somebody even has to pay a few dollars or something, some minor amount, the effective cost of bots is very high, and then you also have to get a new payment method every time you have a new bot. So that actually, the constraint of how many different credit cards you can find even on the dark web.
Well, I think what we were talking about, Tez, prior was I think it's crazy for people to want to pay for Twitter.
Correct.
You know what I mean? But I don't think it's crazy for Elon to charge them because he should charge them. I want you to have to pay to hate me.
Yeah,
you should not be able to hate me for free. Let's see how much you really care about hating me.
Yeah,
that's right.
And I was thinking the same thing. They're like, yeah, if you really want to hate, you really want to be that negative, if you're going to pay to be that negative, then go ahead and do it. But I will tell you this too, if they charge, I won't be on it anymore, so I won't even get to see it. But
I haven't been on Twitter in like 6 years.
Really?
Literally.
People would literally be tweeting you too. I'll be laughing because I'm saying, Charlamagne
I never go on Twitter. Never, ever. Only time I see tweets is like if somebody send me a tweet, but don't nobody ever send me nothing about like me. They just send me like news that came on Twitter, and I'll look at the link, but I'm never on Twitter.
But I link it to my IG, so whatever I post on IG, I also post on Twitter. But I
can link Twitter to IG?
Yeah, usually when you post on Instagram, it automatically went to Twitter.
Oh, I
No, it
remember that.
automatically goes to Facebook. Are you sure?
And Facebook, yeah.
They don't have a link on Twitter.
No, it used to be a click where you click on your Instagram and it automatically sends to Twitter.
Oh, I didn't know that either.
Okay, they don't have that anymore.
No, they recently pulled it off. But I
Okay.
whatever I put on Instagram, I automatically post on Twitter as well. And
Yeah, I'm on there. I'm very rare because it is a cesspool, of avatars is what I call it. Anonymous avatars. Just making anonymous comments.
Yep.
Hiding, their identity. And I'm not a fan of it. Twitter used to be it still is sometimes a good place for news. Because you get instant information. And I'm always looking for information. But it is definitely filled with bots. Instagram has bots too, but you have a little bit more control over your page. Now, what he's talking about doing, now he's already charging folks $8 a month to be verified, which is crazy because we know that you're paying for it, by the way, including on Instagram. And it's allowing you access, the special features. Organizations are paying $1,000 a month to be verified and an extra $50 for each of their affiliates. So, yeah, we'll see. They're going to charge everybody. We'll see how it works.
Go ahead. Pay Elon Musk to hate us. Okay? Make Elon Musk richer. All right? I want to see how much you care about actually disliking the people you claim that you dislike. Go ahead and pay the white man to continue to hate on more black people. Go ahead. Do it.
Make the investment.
Go ahead. Make the investment. Do your thing.
all right. Well,
let me say this. Yesterday you said it was National Cheeseburger Day. There's always a crazy day. So today is National Quesos Day and National String Cheese Day. So
what's a queso?
What's queso?
Like that goes with your nachos.
The cheese?
Cheese? Yeah.
Oh, I just call it cheese. You talk about cheese sauce.
No.
And Monday was National Cheeseburger Day. Monday.
Yeah.
Monday.
Yeah, so National String Cheese Day. But you don't eat cheese, Charlamagne, so.
No, I don't. I'm lactose intolerant. I feel like we just let our Latino listeners down, too. They're like, what is it? You don't know what a queso is?
Maybe.
Yeah, the queso cheese. Am I not pronouncing it queso?
Red, you know what a queso is?
It's queso.
Yeah, Red look disgusted.
That's more Mexican, though. It's not Puerto Rican, though, right? It's more Mexican.
It's cheese. Okay, well, salute to all the Mexicans
Shout
out
out to
there.
all the Mexicans.
Yeah, when you go to the bar and you ask for, they give you chips and give you that dip, queso dip.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about now. I just call it cheese sauce.
Yeah.
I thought it was cheese whiz.
Just learn something.
Okay.
Not cheese whiz.
All right. Well, thank you, Tez. We'll see you tomorrow.
You're welcome. Peace.
And make sure you subscribe to Tesla and Figaro's podcast, the Straight Shot No Chaser podcast on the Black Effect iHeartRadio podcast network, and follow at Tesla and Figaro on all social media platforms.
All right. When we come back, Taraji P. Henson will be joining us. We're going to kick it with her when we come back, so don't move. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.
Wake that ass up.
In the morning.
The Breakfast Club.